Be me, 43, Dean of Students at Liberal Arts College in Massachusetts. PhD in education, been in higher ed for 18 years. In this dean position for 3 years, youngest ever appointed. Proud of progressive changes I've implemented. Expanded diversity office, increased funding for equity initiatives. Created safe spaces, bias reporting systems, inclusion trainings. College has won awards for commitment to social justice. Under my leadership, we've transformed campus culture. Student body loves me. Faculty respects me. Board of Trustees showcases our diversity metrics. Minority enrollment up 15%. Women in STEM up 22%. Multiple programs supporting underrepresented students. This is exactly why I got into education. To make institutions more equitable, more just. To dismantle systems of oppression in academia. Campus has 2,400 students, 400 faculty and staff. About 150 are facilities, maintenance, custodial workers. Mostly men, mostly older, mostly working class. They keep the campus running, though often invisible. Today is our monthly all-staff meeting in the auditorium. Required attendance covers updates from all departments. Usually boring, administrative stuff, people half listen. I'm presenting on our new Excellence Through Equity initiative. $2 million investment in diversity programming. New positions, new resources, new requirements. Excited to share this with the whole campus community. Walk into auditorium, it's filling up quickly. Faculty and administrators sit in the middle sections. Facilities workers cluster in the back rows, as usual. In their work uniforms, some covered in dirt or paint. Notice they look tired, like they just came off shift. Many of them work early mornings or late nights, keeping campus clean and functional while students sleep. President introduces me. I take the podium. Thank you all for being here today. I'm excited to announce our Excellence Through Equity initiative. Pull up PowerPoint with glossy slides and statistics. This $2 million investment will transform our campus culture through comprehensive diversity, equity, and inclusion programming. Click through slides showing new positions. We're creating 5 new DEI coordinator roles, each focused on specific underrepresented communities, ensuring every student feels seen, heard, and valued. More slides about mandatory training requirements. All faculty and staff will complete anti-bias training. 20 hours per year, covering racism, sexism, homophobia, microaggressions, privilege, and inclusive practices. Show slide about expanded bias reporting system. We're making it easier for students to report concerning incidents. Anonymous online portal, 24/7 support line. Every report will be investigated thoroughly by our DEI team. Faculty are nodding, taking notes, looking engaged. Administrators seem supportive, asking clarifying questions. The facilities workers in back are shifting, murmuring, some exchanging looks, a few shaking their heads. Continue with more details about the initiative. We're also implementing mandatory diversity statements for all hiring, promotion, and tenure decisions. Candidates must demonstrate commitment to equity work. Finish presentation, open for questions. Anyone have questions or concerns about the initiative? Several hands go up from faculty section. Softball questions, supportive comments, enthusiasm. Will there be funding for department-level initiatives? Can we propose additional training modules? How do we nominate students for equity leadership roles? Answer each one, feeling good about the reception. Then a hand goes up from the back facility section. Older man, maybe late 50s, wearing custodial uniform. Name tag says Frank, don't recognize him. Yes, go ahead, Frank. He stands up slowly like his back hurts. I'm Frank Murphy. I'm a janitor here, been here 31 years. His voice is rough, Boston accent, sounds tired. I got a question about this $2 million you're spending. Of course, what would you like to know? He looks at the workers around him, then back at me. How come you got $2 million for this diversity stuff? But you've been telling us for 3 years there's no money. No money for raises, no money for more staff. No money to fix our equipment or replace our trucks. Feel defensive immediately. These are different budgets. Frank, this funding comes from a specific diversity grant. It's restricted, can only be used for equity initiatives. He doesn't sit down, keep standing. So there's money for 5 new coordinators making what? $70K each. But no money for the guys cleaning toilets at 4 a.m. for $16 an hour. Who ain't had a raise in 4 years? Murmurs of agreement from the facilities workers. Compensation is a separate issue, handled through HR. This initiative is specifically about campus diversity. Another worker stands up, younger guy, maybe 40. I'm Carlos. I work grounds crew, been here 12 years. Can I ask something about this diversity you're talking about? Of course, I say. Try to maintain professional tone. You keep saying diversity in underrepresented groups. But you know who does the hardest, most dangerous work here? Not sure where he's going with this. Who does the work on the roofs in winter when it's 15 degrees? Who fixes the steam pipes in tunnels that reach 120 degrees? Who handles the chemicals and the machinery that could kill us? He gestures to the men around him. It's us, the facilities guys, mostly white working class guys. The guys you don't include when you talk about diversity. Feel defensive. This initiative is about identity-based marginalization. And what about class-based marginalization, he challenges. What about the guys doing backbreaking work for poverty wages, while you create $70,000 office jobs for people with degrees? The room is getting tense. Faculty are shifting uncomfortably. Frank speaks up again, still standing. Let me tell you about diversity from where I'm standing. I got a crew of 8 janitors for 3 academic buildings. Used to be 12 of us before the budget cuts. We're doing the work of 12 people with 8. His voice is getting emotional, frustrated. We got black guys, white guys, Hispanic guys, Asian guy. We got immigrants from 4 different countries. We got guys who barely speak English working alongside guys born here. And you know what? We don't need your diversity training. We already work together just fine. We got no choice. Another worker stands, older black man, maybe 60s. I'm Walter, maintenance supervisor, been here 27 years. Can I say something about this training you're requiring? Nod, unable to stop this now. You're telling us we need 20 hours of anti-bias training to learn not to be racist or sexist or whatever. You know what I did last week for 60 hours straight? He's getting animated, speaking louder. I kept the heat running in the dorms during that cold snap. Worked triple shifts so students wouldn't freeze. Because we're short-staffed, because guys quit, because the pay is shit and the work is hard. Point to me directly now, and you want to take 20 more hours from us. To sit in a room being told we're unconsciously biased, while students are waiting for broken stuff to get fixed, while the campus is falling apart because we can't keep up. The facilities workers are nodding vigorously. Faculty and administrators look uncomfortable, not sure how to react. Carlos speaks again. And this bias reporting system you're so proud of. You know what that means for us. Feel my face getting hot. Losing control of this meeting. It means students can report us anonymously for anything. For making them uncomfortable for saying the wrong thing. For existing in their space while looking like working class guys. He pulls out his phone, shows something. My buddy got reported last month. Student said he made her uncomfortable in the bathroom. You know what he was doing? Fixing the toilet she called about. But she was uncomfortable that a male worker was there. So he got investigated, had to meet with HR 3 times. Frank adds another example, or my guy Tom. Student reported him for microaggressions. Said he was dismissive of her concerns about the heating. You know why he was dismissive? Because she wanted her room at 78 degrees. In a building where we control heat centrally. He explained that politely, got reported anyway. Walter speaks up. We're scared to talk to students now. Scared to be alone with them. Scared to say no to requests. One anonymous report, and we're in HR getting investigated. Meanwhile, we're just trying to do our jobs. A younger facilities worker stands maybe 30. I'm Mike. I'm an electrician, been here 6 years. Went to trade school instead of college. Make $22 an hour. Do you know what it's like to work on this campus? Around all these rich kids who look down on us. He's getting emotional now, voice shaking. I'm under the floor in a library running new cables. Students literally step over me like I'm invisible. Talk about me like I can't hear them. Make jokes about the workers, about how we must be stupid, because we work with our hands instead of getting degrees. Another worker stands, older Hispanic man. I'm Jose. I work in dining services, 19 years here. You talk about creating an inclusive environment, about making sure everyone feels valued and respected. But you know who feels invisible and disrespected? He gestures to all the facilities workers. Us, the people who serve you food, clean your offices, fix your computers, shovel your sidewalks. We're here every day making this place run. But you don't see us. You don't include us in your diversity talk. Feel tears threatening. This is not going how I planned. Frank speaks again, voice firm and clear. Dean Rodriguez, with all due respect, you're spending $2 million on diversity, while the people doing the hardest work here are struggling to pay rent, struggling to make ends meet. He looks around at his co-workers. Carlos got 2 kids, works here and does Uber on weekends. Walter got diabetes, can't afford his medication on our insurance. Jose's wife got cancer. Their GoFundMe didn't even cover half the bills. Mike lives in his mom's basement at 30 years old because he can't afford rent in this area. Each example is a punch to my gut. But you got $2 million for coordinators and training. You got money to hire more administrators. You got money for bias reporting systems and safe spaces. But no money to pay living wages to the people who keep this campus running. The room is completely silent except for Frank. You talk about equity and inclusion, but from where I'm standing, that only applies to certain people. Only applies to the people with degrees, with identity categories you recognize. Working class guys like us don't count in your diversity math. Carlos adds, in your mandatory training, about privilege and microaggressions and unconscious bias. You're going to teach us about privilege. He laughs, bitter sound. I work 50 hours a week here plus side jobs. Live paycheck to paycheck, 1 car breakdown from disaster. My kid needs a tutor I can't afford. My wife works retail just so we can barely make rent. He looks at me directly. And you're going to tell me I'm privileged because I'm a man, because I'm white, because I'm straight. Where's my privilege, Dean Rodriguez? Show me where the privilege is in my life. Walter speaks again, quieter but firm. I'm a black man, been one for 61 years. Worked my whole life, starting at 14 years old. Raised 4 kids on a maintenance worker's salary. Never missed a day of work, never asked for handouts. He's looking at me with something like disappointment. And you're going to train me about racism. Going to teach me about bias and discrimination. Like I haven't lived it, like I don't know it. But the real discrimination I see now is you spending millions on programs and coordinators while telling us there's no money for the workers. Another facilities worker stands, I don't know his name. I'm Paul, HVAC technician, 15 years here. You know what's dangerous about your bias reporting system? Really don't want to hear this, but can't stop him. It's anonymous, no due process, no presumption of innocence. Student says we made them uncomfortable, we're guilty. Have to prove we didn't do anything wrong. Our word against theirs, and yours always believe the student. Frank adds, we had a good culture here before all this. Workers and students got along, had mutual respect. Students would thank us, talk to us like humans. Now they see us as potential threats to report, and we see them as potential liability to avoid. Mike speaks up. You've destroyed trust on this campus, created atmosphere of suspicion and fear, all in the name of inclusion and safety. But we don't feel safe, we feel targeted. Jose adds his perspective. And these 5 new coordinators you're hiring, what are they going to do exactly? Sit in offices, make PowerPoints, run trainings, write reports? while we're out in the cold, in the heat, doing real work. He's getting passionate now. For $70,000, they're going to teach people about equity, while I make $19 an hour feeding students. How is that equitable? How is that just? Carlos speaks again, voice firm. You want to know what real diversity initiative would look like? Pay us living wages, hire more staff so we're not killing ourselves. Fix our equipment, provide good benefits. Treat the working class people here with actual respect. Frank is nodding, adds more. Recognize that class matters as much as identity. That economic justice is social justice. That the guy fixing your toilet at 5 a.m. deserves dignity, not lectures about his privilege. Walter stands again, makes final point. Dean Rodriguez, I don't doubt you mean well. I don't doubt you care about diversity and inclusion. But your version of it leaves us out completely. Leaves out the working class people who make everything possible. He gestures to the facilities workers. We're invisible in your equity initiatives. We're the ones doing the hard, dangerous, necessary work. But we don't count because we don't fit your categories. Because we're not the right kind of diverse. The challenge hangs in the air, everyone waiting for my response. President is looking at me, concerned. Faculty and administrators are uncomfortable, don't know what to say. The facilities workers are united, standing together, waiting to see if I'll hear them or dismiss them. Open my mouth, nothing comes out initially. All my education, all my training feels useless. Frank, Walter, all of you, I hear what you're saying. My voice is shaking, feel completely unprepared. This is clearly not the conversation I expected to have. Frank speaks gently now, less confrontational. We didn't want to do this publicly. We try to talk to you, to HR, to the president. But nobody listens to the janitors and maintenance guys. So we had to say it here, in front of everyone. Walter adds, we're not against diversity. We're not saying other people don't face discrimination. We're saying your approach leaves us out, makes us the bad guys while we're breaking our backs. Carlos is quieter now, too. We're just asking to be included. In your equity talk, in your resource allocation, in your definition of who matters on this campus. Feel completely overwhelmed, tears starting. I don't know what to say right now. I need to think about this, process what you've shared. Frank nods. That's all we're asking. Just think about it. Really think about it. Think about who your policies actually help and who they hurt while you're helping others. The meeting ends awkwardly. People file out quietly. Facilities workers leave together, supporting each other. Faculty avoid eye contact with me. Don't know what to say. President catches my arm. My office now. Walk in silence, feeling shame and confusion. Sit in president's office. She's been here 20 years. That was brutal, she says. I know, I didn't expect. You should have. I've been telling you for a year. Look up surprised. Telling me what? That your diversity initiatives were leaving out facilities workers. That they felt alienated and targeted by your programs. That there was growing resentment about resource allocation. Feel shocked. Why didn't you make me listen? I tried. You were too focused on your agenda. Too certain you were right. Too defensive when questioned. She pulls out a folder, shows me. Worker complaints about bias reporting system. About feeling targeted by students, investigated unfairly. About mandatory trainings that make them feel attacked. Never saw these, didn't know they existed. Why wasn't I shown these? You were shown, you dismissed them as resistance to change. As privileged people not wanting to give up power. She's right, I did say that. But Frank's right about the money too. We found $2 million for diversity initiatives, but told facilities we couldn't afford raises or new staff. She leans forward, speaking carefully. The optics are terrible. The reality is worse. We're paying people poverty wages to do dangerous work, while creating six-figure administrative positions for programs that target those same workers as the problem. Feels sick seeing it clearly for first time. What do I do now? She's firm. You fix it or I replace you. The facilities workers are the backbone of this institution. They're unionizing, by the way, did you know that? Had no idea, feel panic rising. Started organizing 6 months ago because of your policies. Because they feel disrespected and under attack. Because you created culture where they're afraid to do their jobs. She shows me more documents. Worker retention is down 30% since you started. New hires quit within months. Can't handle the environment. We're losing institutional knowledge, experienced workers. Because you made campus hostile to working class men. Each statistic is devastating. I thought I was making campus more inclusive. You made it more inclusive for some, exclusive for others. That's not equity, that's just different discrimination. She stands up, conversation ending. You have 2 months to make significant changes. Include facilities workers in your equity initiatives. Address their concerns about bias reporting and training. And for God's sake, find money for living wages. Leave her office feeling destroyed. Everything I've worked for, everything I believed, being challenged and dismantled. That evening, can't stop replaying Frank's words. Where's the privilege in my life? Show me where the privilege is. Think about him cleaning toilets at 4 a.m. for $16 per hour. About Carlos working 50 hours plus side jobs. About Walter unable to afford his diabetes medication. About Mike living in his mom's basement at 30. All while I make $185,000 and live in nice suburb. All while I lecture them about their privilege. Next day, request meeting with Frank and worker representatives. They agree, reluctantly, don't trust me yet. Meeting conference room, 6 workers and me. Frank, Walter, Carlos, Mike, Jose, and Paul. Thank you for meeting with me. I wanted to apologize for yesterday. For being unprepared, for being defensive. Frank is cautious, apology is nice, but what's changing? I want to understand what you need, specifically. What would make this campus work for you? They look at each other, then Walter speaks. Living wages, that's first. Can't live on what we make, not in this area. We need $25 an hour minimum, $30 for skilled trades. Do math quickly, that's significant budget increase. But they're right, $16 to $22 isn't livable here. I'll work with HR and president on compensation. We'll find the money. You deserve living wages. Carlos speaks up, change the bias reporting system. We need due process, need to face our accusers. Can't have anonymous reports ending our careers. That's fair, system is set up poorly. I'll revise it, include proper investigation procedures. Make sure workers have representation and fair process. Mike adds, change the mandatory training, or at least make it relevant to us. Stop making us sit through lectures about privilege when we're breaking our backs for poverty wages. This one's harder, challenges my whole approach. What would useful training look like for you? Paul answers, safety training, equipment training. Things that help us do our jobs better and safer. Not political stuff that makes us feel like bad guys. Jose adds, or if you're going to do diversity training, include working class issues, economic justice. Talk about class as much as you talk about race and gender. That's reasonable. Should have been included already. I can do that. Include class and economic justice. Make training relevant to everyone's experience. Frank speaks last, most important point. Change how you talk about us, how you see us. We're not the problem. We're not privileged oppressors. We're working people trying to survive, trying to take care of our families, do our jobs right. He's getting emotional again. When you talk about making campus inclusive, include us in that, the facilities workers. Recognize our labor, our struggles, our humanity. Don't make us invisible while you help everyone else. Feel tears coming, his words hitting hard. You're right, all of you are right. I've been so focused on identity-based diversity that I completely ignored class-based inequality. Ignored the people doing the hardest work for lowest pay. Walter speaks gently. We're not asking you to abandon other groups. Just include us too. That's all. Recognize that class matters, that poverty matters, that working class white guys can struggle too. They're being more gracious than I deserve. I promise things will change. And I need your help, your input on everything. Can't fix this without you telling me what you need. Frank nods slowly. We'll see if you mean it. Words are nice, but we need action. Need to see actual changes, not just promises. He's right. They've been disappointed before. Over next 2 months, work harder than ever before. Meet with president and board about budget. Secure funding for 20% pay increases for all facilities workers. Not as much as they need, but significant step. Revise bias reporting system completely. Add due process, investigation procedures, representation. Make it fair for both reporters and reported. Redesign mandatory training program. Include modules on class and economic justice. Bring in speakers who are working class, who get it. Make content relevant to everyone's lived experience. Create Facilities Appreciation Week. Highlight the work they do, the people behind it. Students meet the workers, learn their names and stories. Create student-worker dialogue programs. Help students understand the labor that supports them. Add facilities workers to diversity committees. Include their voices in policy decisions. Make them part of equity initiatives, not targets of them. 3 months after that town hall meeting. Have another all-staff gathering, this time different. Start by acknowledging what happened last time. 3 months ago, Frank and the facilities workers confronted me about my diversity policies, about how they excluded working-class workers, about how they made campus worse for some people. The room is quiet, everyone remembers. They were right, I was wrong. I was so focused on one type of diversity that I ignored another form of inequality. That I harmed people while thinking I was helping. Show slides detailing changes made. Pay increases, policy revisions, training updates. Facilities workers are nodding, some smiling. Frank raises his hand, I call on him. Dean Rodriguez, I want to acknowledge the changes. They're real, they're meaningful, we see them. Thank you for listening, for actually following through. Feel emotional, his approval matters. Thank you for having courage to speak up. For teaching me what I needed to learn. After meeting, Frank approaches me. You did good work here, real changes. Thank you, Frank. Couldn't have done it without you. He smiles, first time I've seen him smile. You know what the difference is now? What's that? We feel seen. We feel valued. We feel included. We're part of the campus community now, not just invisible workers in the background. That's what I should have created from start. TFW Janitor confronts you about diversity policies in public meeting. TFW, he asks where the privilege is in his $16 per hour dangerous work. TFW facilities workers explain how your programs hurt them. TFW, they work triple shifts while you lecture about their privilege. TFW, you spent $2 million on initiatives, but no money for living wages. TFW, your bias reporting system terrifies the workers. TFW working class men are invisible in your diversity math. TFW, you made campus inclusive for some, hostile for others. TFW, president threatens to replace you for ignoring half the staff. TFW, you have to completely rebuild your approach. Still believe in diversity and inclusion. Still think identity-based discrimination is real. Still advocate for underrepresented students. But now understand class matters too. That economic justice is part of social justice. That working class people deserve dignity and respect. That diversity includes working class white guys. That equity means fair wages, not just representation. Frank and the workers taught me that. By having courage to speak publicly. By risking their jobs to demand recognition. By refusing to stay invisible. They saved my diversity initiatives. By forcing me to see who I was leaving out. By demanding inclusion in my inclusion work. By showing me that real equity includes everyone. Now I build programs with them, not despite them. Now I recognize their labor and their struggles. Now I include class in every diversity conversation. Now I measure success by whether everyone thrives. Not just the groups I initially prioritized. That's what real equity looks like. What Frank taught me in that town hall, by asking one simple, devastating question: where's the privilege in my life? That question changed everything. Made me see what I'd been missing. Made me better at my job. Made the campus better for everyone. Not just for some. That's what leadership should be. What mine finally became. After a janitor schooled the dean about what diversity really means.